Oh, man. I love these. These are my favorite shows. Favorite shows when we can celebrate the guys we stashed last week, the guys we prioritized. Everyone's rushing out to get them, overpaying in the leagues we're not in. Because when they go and they type in Kimani Vidal, already on a roster. Your roster. That's right. Kimani Vidal's happening! Oh, the double noisemaker. Has that ever been done on the show? I think Vidal deserves the double noise. I think he does, doesn't he? Let's look at Mr. Vidal. Yeah, Vidal. It's just he's an athlete from a small school who goes on day 3. Isn't that just classic? Isn't that just the way it is? This is what we're always looking for. And again, DFS grinders were playing Hassan Haskins. There were many suggestions for streaming and picking up Hassan Haskins over Kimani Vidal last week because he's going to be the de facto primary back. Because why? Because he played with Harbaugh. Harbaugh, as if Harbaugh is just going to blindly play the guy that played at Michigan. It's been years since Harbaugh was at Michigan. Can we get off the Michigan shower narrative with Harbaugh, or this idea that Harbaugh must run the ball no matter what, even if his offensive line is in shambles, even if the game scripts are trending negative, that he's going to just keep running the ball. This is the Harbaugh way. No. He's passing the ball as much over expectation right now as anybody else in the whole league because he wants to win games. He wants to evaluate. I mean, unless you think he's a moron, right? Then maybe you could be like, well, I guess I had Haskins in the last school I was at, and so now he's here with my pro team. But I think we can agree he's not a dummy. He's not a big dummy. So he's going to evaluate a guy like, Kimani Vidal. He's going to get to see him in practice, and he's going to see what he offers. And yeah, this guy can help us win games. This guy offers explosive plays. This guy scores points in a way that Hassan Haskins doesn't. In fact, I've seen a lot of Haskins. And yeah, maybe I trust him, but I know there's a limited ceiling there. You're giving Harbaugh the benefit of the doubt. I can't believe that. Am I worshiping Harbaugh more than anyone else? Is this possible? Am I more of a coaching enthusiast than anyone? Is this happening? Is this the first time in my life? So congrats to everybody that already has him. If you played him, we actually had him in the plays of the week too. Interesting contest. I think last week was just the perfect illustration of a lot of what we talk about on this show. The certainty around running back and tight end and quarterback. And then there's that fourth position for fantasy, wide receiver. And it is just fraught with players missing expectations, volatile performances, inability to predict what's going to happen, where it really does feel like, hey, we're throwing darts, we're playing roulette, we don't know. And then the injury rate for these receivers, how many receivers are going down with injuries? We have whole teams like the Buccaneers that have been, their passing games have been wiped off the face of the earth. I mean, the Buccaneers and the 49ers played, and they didn't, at one point, they had no starting receivers. It was like all backups and guys that were street free agents in there for a whole game. And Bucky Irving was also out. And ironically, the one healthy, established skill position veteran on the field was none other than Christian McCaffrey. That's just funny. That's a funny thing. That's a funny thing that happened. If you're late to the game and you need to go bid on Kimani Vidal in a shallow league, I would say 90%. Okay, Hampton's likely out for a long time. Vidal's just better, as you saw. I don't have to pull up Haskins' athleticism. It's not close to Vidal. And Vidal is a small school player. And you see small school players, they take longer to develop, but after a year or two, give them a chance, especially the running backs. And bam, right? Bam. And we'll get to bam in a little bit, right? We'll get to bam. Bam will be talked about. Don't worry. And certainly if you're bidding, FAAB bidding, shallow league, deep league, Bam Knight, if you want him, you're going to have to put second most amount of funds down to try to acquire him after Kamani Vidal. I just don't have him prioritized. So you want him, you're going to have to bid like 15% in a deep league to get Bam Knight at least, and probably more. And I would not bid more than that. And therefore, we as a collective will likely not have any Bam Knight, just like we as a collective don't have much Hassan Haskins. And that's okay. He and Michael Carter are splitting touches. That was a game we saw this Sunday where that's a Bam Knight game. There's going to be games where the Cardinals, which is not a good team, they're going to be losing. They're going to be down double digits, and that's going to be a Michael Carter game. And so Michael Carter is not dead yet. So hold on to Michael Carter. And if you must have the Thunder running back of the Arizona Cardinals, which are just looking super mediocre. I mean, this is the most mediocre to bad team in the league, where it's like, man, there's some pieces here, but Kyler Murray is just not happening. It's not going to happen for Kyler Murray. Like, he's never going to make a deep run in the playoffs. It's not going to happen. That's not, just like Tua Tagovailoa. It's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to, these are guys who are super celebrated college quarterbacks. They're just not going to happen in the NFL, and that's fine. But just know that one of the reasons why you don't go out and overbid on the between the tackles running back on a team that doesn't score a lot of points is just they need touchdowns to realize their upside. My number 2 priority this week on the waiver wire is not expensive. It's Isaiah Davis. Free 20. Free 20. That's what we're seeing. Isn't that what we're seeing from Breece Hall? That's what he's posting. Free 20. He wants out. They can't win a game. He wants out. He wants a new contract. I get it. So he's going to be agitating for a trade behind the scenes, knowing that there's a clear number 2 back in New York. And it's Isaiah Davis. And he's an all-around player. We profiled him last week. He has like Tyler Algier level size, athleticism. He runs hard like Algier. Man, Algier was impressive last night. My goodness. Josh Allen beat Josh Allen, and Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson teamed up to beat Josh Allen. And given all of it, it still should have been tied. There was an interception that should have happened. The coulda, woulda, shoulda interceptions. I was watching the game with my daughter. My daughter has become this huge NFL fan. She's now watching Bills games to root against the Bills because she's such a huge Patriots fan. She's a bigger Patriots fan than me. And it was funny to see how well, and I told her, I was like, listen, this game is not over yet. We'll see. I've seen a lot of things in the NFL. I mean, I've seen Tom Brady play the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl. I was like, you were there with me. Don't you remember that game? Don't you remember this game and that game and this game and that game? There's something called the Music City Miracle. There's so many things. We got to pay attention. And then it was going to happen. One of those plays that we talk about where the defensive back comes over, ball's right in his hands. He's got a clear, coast into the end zone to tie the ball game, and then just drops it. It happens. But it was. I was like, I told you so. You've been there, right? I told you so. I mean, I still wanted the Falcons to win, but I also wanted the told you so. It's always tricky. We've got another player that is fringe right now, but could easily be a player that we're all chasing a week or two from now. So get him now, and that's Jaden Blue. Chase this offense. Miles Sanders is on the IR, and Javonte Williams lacks dynamism. So Jaden Blue is a guy that you need to go get. If we look at his profile, he's not that impressive, but runs a 4.4, right? He's fast. And everyone that scouted him at Texas said this guy looks like a receiver. I mean, this offense is unbelievable. It's just so cool to see Dak Prescott in a YOLO environment. They can't stop anybody. It's just perfect. I mean, again, this is the 2025 version of the Bengals. Jaden Blue, I'm not saying he's Chase Brown, but stranger things have happened. So you need to get him now. You need to get him now. And the chat is blowing up. And I apologize last week. It's my fault. I should have checked the chat. I talked about Mike White as a potential super flex stash. Whoops. The chat's in there in all caps. Joe Flacco signed with the Cincinnati. So I've promised that I'm going to be pulling up the chat here. I'm going to be looking at the chat. And right now, so far, so good. We're in good shape. There's some of you saying that Brissett is better than Kyler Murray. It's not crazy. That's certainly not a crazy thing to say. But yeah, it's certainly not crazy to put a bid down on Jaden Blue in shallow leagues. I think you could even stash him in shallow leagues. The upside is that good. There are some players that are super inexpensive, widely available in shallow leagues, but the upside is so good they're worth stashing and not waiting. In deep leagues, I think you're going to have to put like 3% down to get Jaden Blue this week because people are reading the fantasy analysts that is some are talking about Jaden Blue, and I'm not the only one suggesting you stash him. So make sure you put maybe a couple extra percent down to make sure you get him. Then you can go ahead and prioritize Bam Knight if you want. Then there's Brashard Smith. He had 4 more targets, another 4-target game on like a 10% snap share. The guy's getting no snaps, but only 7 touches for Kareem Hunt. So we may be in a world where Kareem Hunt is starting to get phased out. Finally, Isaiah Pacheco getting some opportunity. Finally. That's all good. I would love to see it consolidated around Smith and Pacheco. That's an offense where Brashard Smith, in like that Jerick McKinnon role, could be a huge asset in the fantasy playoffs. That's why you stash him now in deep leagues, like 1-2% stash him. And that's why I have him over like a Tajay Spears. This week, we're not going to get Tajay Spears anymore than we're going to get Bam Knight because Tajay Spears, he's going to have a bigger role. He's going to catch 4 or 5 passes sometimes. This is Tennessee. His upside is very much capped by the Tennessee offense, and you need an injury to Tony Pollard. So what are we talking about? It's like Taj Brooks. You can stash Taj Brooks, but okay, so there's a Chase Brown injury. Then what? You have a between the tackles runner on the Bengals with no Joe Burrow. What good is that? So you got to just constantly, not just chase like the guy getting snaps or the guy getting touches. It's like, okay, what is the upside? Let's play this out. Let's do the thought experiment. Everything breaks this guy's way. Is he a starting option? Is he a flex option? Is this a weekly starter? Is this guy going to help me win my league? Tajay Spears, the answer is no. Brashard Smith, yes. So that's why a Davis and a Blue get prioritized over a Bam Knight. The best guy to stash of all is Tyler Algier. Just always checking your waiver wire just in case someone accidentally dropped Tyler Algier. You can't watch football and watch Tyler Algier stretch for those first downs and just punishing people and not want him. So I would much prefer a guy like Tyler Algier over a Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller, any given week, might get more touches. But the upside of Tyler Algier in a starting role is so much higher than Kendre Miller in a starting role for the Saints. This is basic contingent upside 101. Trevor Etienne has a little bit. Trevor Etienne's another running back. If you think about stashing in deep, deep leagues, things have to break a guy's way. We talked about the guy behind the guy. Sometimes the guy behind the guy behind the guy. A Sean Tucker. Lots of upside for Sean Tucker. And that offense with an all-purpose skill set and explosiveness like Sean Tucker, he's a great deep, deep stash. But now, so is Trevor Etienne, because we've seen what this Carolina running game can do. You just are going down the board so much. Do I like Taj Brooks as a talent? Do I prefer him over Trevor Etienne? Yes. But Trevor Etienne, just based on, hey, anything can happen. We've already seen players that, like Chris Godwin, injury recurrence. This happens all the time. So just because Chuba Hubbard's healthy, in theory, in the future, doesn't mean he ever will be 100% for the rest of the season. It's very possible that he suffers a setback, and then all of a sudden, it's like we look up, and he's week to week, and we've all been there. So for that reason, Trevor Etienne, man, I mean, it's deep leagues only, okay? I get that. But I don't care what his profile looks like. I don't care. We could pull it up. I don't care. I just want a piece of that running game now. I mean, my goodness. Rico Dowdle, 200 yards every week. It's almost like someone talked about him in their Plays of the Week show. Said it's all the same guys. Rico Dowdle and Rashad White. And just had a great week last week. And man, some people sent me some of their scores, their box scores, just heartbreaking stuff where you just needed to get a little bit more from Puka or a little bit more from Egbuka or a little bit more from all these receivers and you would have won. I know, man, I know. Anyway, wide receiver. Oh, it's the hardest. It's the hardest. I mean, by leaps and bounds. The hardest position to figure out weekly, seasonally, in Dynasty. It's always the hardest position to figure out. That's why we had this huge debate. We're having this huge debate about Kamani Vidal, to the FF Dynasty guys. And we were talking about Kamani Vidal. Somehow, I don't know how Kamani Vidal even came up in the offseason. But there was a clip that I saw recently where I was talking about Kamani Vidal and how, hey, he's the guy behind the guy. But if that just happens to work out and Najee Harris goes down, even just a Najee Harris injury, and he becomes interesting. And that's not that thin of a thread at all. Whereas a guy like Kyle Williams, a guy like Jalen McMillan, these are just, they're good possession receivers at the NFL level. They're not league-winning type players. They're guys you may consider starting, but you would never feel good about it unless all the other players got injured around them, like Kendrick Bourne. You feel good about Kendrick Bourne when you know everyone else is just a notch below Kendrick Bourne, and that's only possible if like 7 receivers get hurt. Then, okay. Then, right. So, yes, if Jalen McMillan was healthy this week, wow, we would be playing him with confidence. But what did it require? 3 injuries ahead of him. So what would it require to feel good about starting a Kyle Williams? I don't even know. That's the life. That's the life of a, 5'11", 190-pound, good but not elite wide receiver at the college level that then gets drafted, late day 3 or even early day 3. It's just it's so rare that you hit on a Stephon Diggs. It's just so rare where there are several running backs in every class that emerge. That's just in any given season. And then another set of those running backs will emerge the next season. It's great. It's such a cool thing that happens with these round 5, round 6, round 7 players. In Dynasty, you go to drop them and you're like, I don't feel like if you are not getting anything from one of these day 3 wide receivers, cutting them in Dynasty is like the easiest thing. There's no stress. But you all know what I'm talking about. When you go to drop any running back in Dynasty, any young running back that's just parked on the taxi squad or for whatever reason, he's not getting any action and you're convinced it's never going to happen, but yet you can't really be fully convinced ever. You go to hit that drop button and it's just very difficult because you're like, well, if there's an injury, everyone's going to rush to pick this guy up. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because if there's an injury or multiple injuries, suddenly Kamani Vidal is a league winner from, whatever school. It doesn't mean Troy. Who cares? Coastal Carolina. This is every year in fantasy football. But there is one receiver I think is the clear guy to pick up. And I was shocked. This one I was shocked by. Only 10% rostered on Yahoo. I had to do a double take. I think I got to refresh my screen. Can you guess who it is? Anyone? Can you guess who this is? This guy's a slam dunk to pick up. Because he's a good player. And he's not a day 3 receiver. This is an early day 2 receiver. This is Luther Burden. This is the time, right? All this other talk of Luther Burden, I was like, maybe. But if now he starts to command a 50% plus route participation, and we hear that DJ Moore is hospitalized for whatever reason, it could have been like an irregular heartbeat and he's fine. Anyway, if there's just a whisper of hope that he could be like one of the starting 2 receivers for this Chicago team that just beat the Commanders. I mean, what a great story. It turns out most of these 2024 quarterbacks are ascending. That was the thesis that we worked off of. And with the exception of J.J. McCarthy, who is hurt again, and it's not looking good, but we'll see. Penix playing well enough, right? Winning and beating Buffalo. You can't take that away from Michael Penix, damn it. That was a big, girthy win for Michael Penix. But yeah, Burden, I mean, no brainer. This is one of those offenses you want exposure to. This is a talented player. He was a mega producer as a sophomore. All the signs are this guy is a breakout player. Just needs an opportunity, and now we might have that, and so you just have to get him. Shallow leagues, even deep leagues, I'd go up to 10%, try to get him. But because he didn't go out and he didn't put up the big 100-yard game, he's going to be more attainable than that. The guy that goes out, the guy that goes out, puts up 120 yards and a touchdown, and then everybody's interested. Suddenly, everybody's interested in Kendrick Bourne. And it's like, yeah, we knew. We were picking up Kendrick Bourne last week. Kendrick Bourne's a perfect guy where it's like he's not that exciting, but we all can read a depth chart. We all can read an injury report. And we know this is a team that has to throw the ball to be competitive in San Francisco. So we were talking about stashing him weeks ago. Now, if we look at the injury report, I'm looking at the injury report. What is in the injury report? What am I seeing? Well, I'm seeing Calvin Ridley with a hamstring injury. And every week it seems like Alec Eomer has been like meeting or exceeding the production of Calvin Ridley. So now without Calvin Ridley, going to put him off to the side. Now it's Van Jefferson. Now is the time to go get Ailman. If he's been lingering around in a deep league of yours, I'd put like 5% down on him. I'd get him. This is a team that has to throw. Keishon Butte. Now, the problem with Keishon Butte, guy puts up almost 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. You're thinking, man, this is Drake May. This whole team is breaking out. This is the Patriots. This is where the production is. He's been the most productive of the wide receivers for the Patriots. He has to be at least a top 3 pickup. But if you go and you look at the actual team, they're playing a lot of receivers. They're playing Demario Douglas. They're playing on running downs. They're playing a lot of Mac Hollins. So the snaps and the routes are just not, they're not reliable based on game script. And we have no idea how the targets week to week are going to get distributed. We've been suffering with it. I have some digs and I play digs and I'm like, oh. You look up and it's like, oh, who got injured and who just got unlucky? That's what you're dealing with every week at wide receiver. It's so rare that we're happy with the production we're getting. And then we're asking ourselves, is this random? Was this just matchup based or was there an injury? And then it turns out you look up and it's like, oh yeah, this guy got injured. Agbuka, he got injured. But no. Diggs just, this is the life of this Patriots passing game. They spread it out. They throw to like 10 plus guys. So you can't overspend on Butte. We're talking about deep leagues. We're talking 3 to 4%. I wouldn't go higher than that on Butte, but so you might not get him. When he does hit though, the spike weeks are fun with Butte. Now we look at the Rams. Who's going to replace Puka Nacua? We have the Rams and we have the Buccaneers. And we have injuries to Puka, injuries to Agbuka. And who's going to replace these guys? I'm going Jordan Whittington. Jordan Whittington, he's just a better all-around player. He's, I know Tutu Atwell is going to be back, but I mean, Jordan Whittington, he's 6'1", 205. He looks like the type of possession receiver that I want to play. This is the guy that can just copy and paste Jordan Whittington into the Puka Nacua route tree. And that's all you got to do. He'll run those routes. I think Tutu Atwell doesn't run the Puka routes. Tutu Atwell has the Tutu Atwell route tree. It's very specific to Tutu Atwell. Jordan Whittington, on the other hand, now we need to do a comp for Jordan Whittington. Where we're failing at player profile. We need to get a comp for Jordan Whittington. I'm interested to see what his comp is. But, 1092, 86 percentile agility, plus average or above average athleticism across the board. Now's the time to get Whittington. There's upside there in this offense with Jordan Whittington. I would even consider, if you must, adding Whittington over a guy like Keishon Butte. Let me ask you a question. I'll ask the chat the question. Who do you think is going to have more targets this week? Is it going to be Whittington or Butte? If you had to, if it was for your life and you had to make a decision, I'd go Whittington. That route inventory availability in Los Angeles is much more certain and stable. Then I still like Ryan Flournoy. I love the Dallas offense so much that you have to just keep acquiring Jaden Blue, Ryan Flournoy. Sure, Lamb comes back. He's the number 3 receiver. In deep leagues, I like him. I like him as a guy that you cannot drop in deep leagues. If he's still available, whether Lamb comes back, I think he's a nice guy. I think he's playable. Now, talking about Tampa, this is a tough one, right? This is a tough one. We have Cameron Johnson and we have Tez Johnson. So we have the Johnson brothers. So this is two Johnsons. Two Johnsons. So you could go out there and you could grab two Johnsons on the same passing game. It's really interesting. I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think most people aren't trying to grab two Johnsons that are super fringe. Mike Evans is due to be back. I mean, or there's whispers that Mike Evans could be back. We'll see if it actually plays out. But Mike Evans returns to practice. Mike Evans is active. Then all these options sort of fade away. Then you're playing Mike Evans. You're still maybe playing Otten. But because of the uncertainty, it's just going to be hard to play these guys. But Cameron Johnson, interesting guy, right? Nice speed, super productive, 49% dominator at Barton, wherever that is. So this guy's undrafted, and he's just grinding, and he finds a role, and he commanded more targets than even Tez Johnson. Now, Tez Johnson is fun, and he's the most frequently looked up player on Player Profiler right now, because he did like 17 backflips in the end zone. It's unbelievable. He's best comparable to Tutu Atwell. So for the same reasons that you're adding Whittington, you might say, "Oh, I'm going to add Mr. Cameron Johnson." I'm just chasing the athleticism. I think Tez Johnson's fun. And then keep on going. I want to make sure that we talk about this. 5 targets for Trey Harris. Keenan Allen slowing down. Very deep leagues. This is worth a stash. This is worth a dabble. We also saw the routes really tick up for Jack Besh. Jack Besh becomes an interesting stash as well. Someone has to catch the passes, and they have to throw to be competitive in Las Vegas. So we have some of these day 2 rookies from the 2025 draft, Trey Harris and Jack Besh in particular, starting to emerge. It's wide open for Jack Besh, and so I could actually see Jack Besh being a higher priority than Trey Harris. Either in very deep leagues, these are guys to stash. I would certainly like Besh or Harris on my bench more than Tez Johnson, more than even Jordan Whittington. But, I mean, if you need to play someone, bye weeks, injuries, you're looking to flex a guy in a deep league, Whittington would be, of all the guys we just talked about, the fill-ins, I would go Whittington. Then Tez Johnson, or depends. If Mike Evans doesn't play, I could see playing Tez Johnson just for the trying to hit that long touchdown. Finally, tight end. Harold Fannin Jr. is available in a lot of leagues, and it's weird. It's weird at this point. We know that Dylan Gabriel throws to the tight end. We know that David Njoku's not 100%. Harold Fannin, it just commands targets. All he does. It's all he did in college. It's all he does in the pros. He's just a really good player. You got to get him. Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer was the week 6 target leader. Brock Bowers' knee is not 100%. It likely won't be. We're going to hear at the end of the year. We're going to rap sheet. He's going to come back at the end of the year in late January and talk about how he was never 100% and he's been draining the knee and he has to go in for surgery. You know this is what's going to happen. How many times have we seen this story, right? Michael Mayer, more than a rental. I'm not seeing a lot of people recommending picking up Michael Mayer. But, they are recommending picking up Vidal Sassoon, aren't they? Oh, yeah, no Vidal Sassoon hairstyle. Let's see the hairstyle for today. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why we wear hats sometimes. That's not even a toupee. I don't even know what that is. Aronde Gadsden, man. Oronde Gadsden. I know injuries, thrust more targets in his direction. I get it. Law of the conservation of targets. Quentin Johnston. But for the same reasons, Trey Harris is an interesting stash. Tight end premium, aggressively pursue Oronde Gadsden. This is a team that has to throw. 8 targets for Gadsden. Still, he didn't score, though. That's the beauty of it. He didn't score. We like that he doesn't score, and that's the problem with Fannin. Fannin just hasn't been scoring the touchdowns. Once Fannin scores a touchdown, everyone's going to grab him. So I'm thinking, man, it's going to be a big rush to get Gadsden, and then not seeing as much. I'm like, that's right, he didn't score the touchdown. Oh, my God. So we can still get him at, maybe just 1 or 2% in deep leagues. You can pretty much steal Gadsden. He's the starting tight end for Justin Herbert on a run-first team, on a pass-first team. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, and notice also, if he's dropped, look out for this guy if he's dropped, because he was the only tight end to get targets, Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson not dead yet, but yeah, Harold Fannin, Michael Mayer, Oronde Gadsden. I would love to see Michael Mayer have a big breakout week in Halloween. Wouldn't that just be perfect? I think so. That would be really cool. So, good luck on the waiver wire, everybody. From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to playerprofiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.